learned a lot in my first year of retirement, and I am going to share one of the biggest things I learned. In my first year of retirement, I had a lot of fun. Like, I was going places and doing new things and just doing whatever made me happy. And now I have to do things differently. And it's okay. You're going to learn something new in your first year, and I'm going to share this with you right now. Next year, I'm going to live a little more frugally. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to be cheap. It just means that I'm going to control my expenses more. And I'm going to share with you how I plan on doing that. So make sure to subscribe so you can learn about my mistakes along the way through my retirement. Or you can find out some fun things about me or the fun things I'm doing. I retired at the age of 60, and I am now trying to bridge that gap between retired to collecting Social Security to getting on Medicare. And one of the things I learned in my first year is in order to bridge that gap, I'm going to be a little more careful. My first tip with you, the first thing I'm going to do is examine my budget more carefully. Now, I thought I had a pretty good budget, but I am going to dig a little deeper. I am going to be a little more curious about how I'm spending money, and I'm going to change some things about how I'm spending money. And in order to do that, I've got to dig a little deeper in my budget. I'm going to track everything. And by tracking everything, I will have a deeper insight on how to make changes. Now, I'm going to stick with some of the same categories I've always had, such as utilities and groceries and travel and leisure, but some of them I might dig a little deeper. And in order to do so, I have to be aware of where this money is going. It's going to make me a smarter spender. So, my first goal in my budget is to become a smarter spender. I'm going to take a look at my utility bills to see if there's a way that I can reduce those expenses. I'm going to take a look at my groceries. I'm going to talk a little bit more about groceries in my second tip. And the third thing I'm considering right now, I am also considering a no spend challenge. Like for 1 month early in the first quarter of next year, I'm going to take a look at a no spend challenge. And that's just going to be a personal goal for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to share it or not because it's a trendy thing and I'm not sure how much value there is in it until after I've done it. So for me to discard not doing it just seems unwise. So I am going to consider it. Why not consider anything right now, especially if it can improve your financial life in retirement? I'm hoping to get something more out of it than what I expect right now. So I expect it's going to show me that I don't have to spend money on something and I can just put it off and it will go away. I don't know. Maybe it's going to show me that I do need to spend money on something and I shouldn't put it off. Either way, I'm hoping I get something out of it. Now, my second frugal lifestyle change is going to be taking a look at the food expenses, like food and grocery. Now, this year, it seems like my food and grocery bill doubled. If it didn't double, then it tripled because I was walking out of the grocery store with less food and spending more money. And it's not that I'm buying new and different things. I feel like I'm buying the same things, but they just got more expensive. And that has created a new interest for me to take a look at how I'm spending money on my food and groceries. Now, I'm not going to be cheap about what I eat, but I am going to be a little more frugal on how I go about making those purchases. So there's things that I know that I buy all the time. And, it could be something as simple as buying hummus. I like to buy hummus. Oh, God, that sounds weird, but and when I go to buy hummus from now on, is going to be when they're on sale for buy one, get one free. Oh, that cracks me up. I'm not that big of a hummus fanatic, but I do enjoy eating it. The main point of that is that when I like something, I'm going to look for it when it's on sale. I'm going to make that purchase. I'm also going to look for things that are on discount. And in our stores, sometimes there are meats and fishes and different things that are discounted on specific days that I can go to and just pick them up in bulk and put it in my freezer so that when it comes time to do a meal cooking day, I can pull some of those things out of my freezer and just go about making multiple meals. And that leads into another thing of not buying so much prepared foods. Now, I don't buy a whole lot of prepared foods besides hummus. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to make my own hummus. I'm sure it's very easy. This whole change in the way that I look at my groceries and my food expenditures is going to change the way that I eat a little bit, mostly how I prepare foods. And I'm okay with that because I have more time now. I am retired, so this is the time to do it. And I do want to reduce my grocery bill because I feel like it's just gotten out of control and it's time to re examine that expense. I want to be a smart shopper. Now, the third way I'm taking a look at being more frugal is through my credit cards. Now, I do use a specific credit card for a lot of my daily expenses, including my groceries. And when I go shopping, I use that credit card and I pay that off every month, and I do get rewards for it. And that does help reduce the monthly bill that I get from my credit card because of the rewards that are associated with it. And it does reduce my travel expenses. I've mostly used them for hotel stays, but I feel like I can get more value out of the way that I have my expenses and the way that I use my rewards cards. And I want to be smarter about that. And if you have any ideas or suggestions about credit cards and reward systems, conventional or non conventional, I'm totally interested. So please share that in the comments below. Now, the fourth frugal way I am taking a look at my expenses is to plan our leisure time and our vacations strategically. Now, my husband and I spent the last year kind of doing things on a whim or doing things a little more spontaneous. And for some things, that's okay to do because we had some hurricanes and we just needed to pack our bags and get out of town. But this year, I want to be more strategic about how we plan our leisure time and our vacations because we have an allocated bucket of money, and it's about $10,000 a year that we spend on our play check. And if I can be more strategic about the way that we are spending that money and get the most bang out of our buck throughout the year next year, I feel that's another way to be a smart spender. Now, when I say smart spender, that also means that I am being a little more frugal, not being cheap, just being frugal. Because we earn this money, and I don't want to be foolish about the way that we're spending it. And that's exactly what these tips are about. I want to adopt a new lifestyle that is financially strategic. Last year, I felt like it was less strategic, and I just needed to put some more guardrails around that so that things don't get out of control, so that I know where this money is going, and I can be a smart spender. Now, the fifth way that I want to continue to make changes into our frugal lifestyle is to make sure that we have another stream of income coming into our house for expenses that are unplanned for. So I do have a side hustle, and I am continuing that side hustle next year. My accountant, who I'm meeting with this month, I think will be advising me to stay on the same path that I am in with my side hustles. She has helped me tremendously with the deductions and the best way to submit my taxes. Ultimately, if you are a baby boomer or a Gen Xer, it's not uncommon to have a way to supplement your month to month expenses. And I feel that this is exactly what we're doing. And it is part of one of the smart moves, smart plans, smart planning that we're going to continue to do. So start a small gig if you haven't already to help you continue to have that financial freedom or to alleviate some of the pressure of the finances that come along with retirement. And I am still bridging that gap from retiring at 60 to when I start collecting Social Security and to when I am on Medicare. So I do have a tough road ahead of me, and I feel that being a little more frugal in my lifestyle now is going to get me to my goals to where I want to be in the future. And that financial security is something that we all want. It is important to plan now and to be a smart spender. I hope these simple steps help you become a little more frugal as you reach retirement or if you are already in retirement. Identify your spending habits. Take a look at where you can dial it back or readjust or reallocate funds so that you can reduce the number of surprises that are financially heading your way and can become real savings. The more you practice, and the more I practice being frugal and cutting expenses, the better I'm going to become at it. And the better you can become at it. And that's what I want for you. I want you to live your next best chapter. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.